Why do some families stay rich for generations? Have you ever wondered, why do some families seem to stay wealthy for hundreds of years, while most of us, no matter how hard we work, scrape by month after month? Statistics show that 70% of wealthy families lose nearly all their wealth by the second generation, and 90% lose it all by the third. That means becoming rich is one thing. Staying rich is something else entirely. So, which families break this brutal cycle? The answer may surprise you. Many Jewish families have managed to do precisely that. They haven't just built wealth, they've preserved prosperity across generations, even in the face of persecution, exile, wars, and global economic crises. So what's their secret? It's not some secret investment strategy. It's not a fancy financial tool. It's a set of timeless money principles, refined over thousands of years and passed down like a sacred cultural inheritance. One iconic example is the Rothschild family, one of the most well-known Jewish dynasties in the world. Despite being expelled from multiple European countries, they built a financial empire that stretched across continents and lasted centuries. Another is George Soros, the Jewish-born billionaire investor who survived the Holocaust and World War II. He didn't just amass enormous personal wealth, he also created global foundations to support education and human rights. His philosophy is straightforward. If you want financial freedom, you must think beyond your lifetime. That's the difference. Jews don't think in 12-month plans. They think in 3-generation legacies. They don't just teach their children how to spend money, they teach them how to build, protect, and pass it on as a sacred duty. In many modern families, talking about money with kids is taboo, but in Jewish households, it's a must. When a 10-year-old Jewish child already knows how to divide money into 5 jars, giving, investing, saving, essentials, and fun, many young adults are still blowing their paycheck on the latest iPhone. I used to think, wealth is just a matter of luck. But the more I studied the Jewish community, the more I realized wealth is a matter of mindset and discipline passed down through generations. And here's the good news. You don't have to be Jewish to apply these principles. You need to learn them, understand them, and practice them intentionally. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 7 of the most powerful Jewish money rules that countless Jewish families around the world have used to preserve wealth over centuries, including 1. Teaching kids about money early to break the cycle of poverty. 2. Working with strategy, not just hard work. 3. Building strong networks, not going it alone. 4. Keeping money flowing within the community to enrich everyone. 5. Investing as a duty, not a choice. 6. Using debt wisely, not avoiding it altogether. 7. Thinking long-term, in 3 generations, not just 3 months. Each rule will come with real-life examples, in-depth breakdowns, and practical advice, even if you're starting from scratch. Just remember, you don't need $1 million to start building generational wealth. You need the correct principle and the right action starting today. So, are you ready to learn how to think about money the Jewish way? If yes, then let's begin with rule number 1. Financial education for children, the foundation of all legacy. Rule number 1. Financial education starts young. Why is it that some adults manage money so much better than others? Why are there 18-year-olds who already know how to save, invest, and plan, while some people in their 30s still live paycheck to paycheck? The answer isn't IQ, degrees, or income, it's how they were raised. In Jewish communities, financial education isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. It's an essential part of growing up. From a very young age, Jewish children are taught to divide their allowance into categories: saving, investing, spending, and giving. And what's remarkable is they're taught through weekly actions, not just theory. Rabbi Jonathan Sacks, a renowned Jewish philosopher and educator, is a powerful example. He recalled how, as a child, his parents would give him a small allowance every week, but not just to spend. They required him to divide it among 4 jars: 10% for charity, 20% for savings, 10% for investing, and the rest for personal use. This habit helped him develop the mindset that every dollar has a mission. And this is what so many modern families are missing. We often assume kids are too young to learn about money, but the truth is, if they don't learn it from us, they'll learn it from TikTok, flashy ads, or friends who spend recklessly. What I deeply admire about the Jewish approach is this: they don't teach kids that money is evil, or that talking about money is taboo. Instead, they treat money as a tool for ethical living. When a child gives away 10% of their tiny income, they're not just learning generosity. They're learning responsibility to their community. When they save, they're not just delaying gratification. They're building a sense of security. When they invest, they learn about risk, reward, and long-term thinking. Another powerful example is Estée Lauder, the Jewish founder of a global cosmetics empire. She grew up poor, and in her memoir, she shared how her mother taught her to manage the tiny coins they earned from their family's small store. That lesson became the foundation of a billion-dollar company. Not luck, discipline, planted in childhood. From a personal standpoint, if you're a parent, please don't wait until your kids are grown to teach them about money. Start small. Give them a weekly allowance with boundaries, guide them through simple budgeting, or take them shopping and talk about value, not just price. You can even use the Jewish 5-jar system with your child, even if you're not wealthy. For example, if you give them 50,000 Vietnamese dong per week, 5,000 Vietnamese dong for charity, 10,000 Vietnamese dong for long-term savings books, toys, etc. 5,000 Vietnamese dong for investing. You can simulate it or help them save in a basic account. 25,000 Vietnamese dong for flexible spending, 5,000 Vietnamese dong for unrestricted use, fun snacks games. The amount doesn't matter. The habit does. And this habit, nurtured for years, creates a rock-solid financial mindset, something schools don't teach. And if you're thinking, I'm not good enough with money to teach my kids, remember this: you don't need to be an expert. You need to set the example. When your kids see you saving, investing, tracking expenses and giving, they'll follow. In Jewish culture, adults don't just talk, they live what they teach. Rule number 2, work smart, not just hard. You've probably heard the phrase, just work hard and success will come. Most of us grew up believing that. But look closer. You'll realize the hardest workers aren't always the wealthiest. And in Jewish communities, known for having one of the highest concentrations of wealth globally, parents don't just teach their kids to work hard. They teach them to work strategically. In Jewish tradition, work isn't just about making a living. It's a mission, a tool to maximize personal value, contribute to society, and, if done right, build lasting wealth. The key question isn't how many hours did you work today. It's, does your work multiply your value over time? Take Mark Zuckerberg, the Jewish founder of Facebook. He didn't go the route of trading hours for a paycheck. Instead, he built a platform with infinite scalability, a system that generates income without needing daily labor. That's the essence of brilliant work, creating leverage. Jews understand a core financial truth: you can't trade time for money forever. A brilliant doctor can only see 20 to 30 patients a day, but a doctor who writes books, trains other doctors, or owns clinics can earn 10 times more without working 10 times harder. That's the difference between manual effort and strategic effort. Personally, this rule changed my life. In my 20s, I worked 3 jobs, 14 hours a day to cover bills, but it felt like pedaling a bike in sand, exhausting but going nowhere. My breakthrough came when I adopted the Jewish mindset: choose work that can scale, work that isn't limited by your hours, location, or physical energy. Another powerful insight: Jews don't choose careers based on fleeting passions or trendy hype. They teach their children to evaluate jobs with 3 criteria. 1. Is the profession in long-term demand? E.g., healthcare, law, tech. 2. Does it offer a high average income? 3. Can it scale? Can it create time and asset leverage? That's why you often see Jews thriving in fields like finance, law, medicine, entrepreneurship, and technology, fields where value can grow exponentially, not linearly. Howard Schultz, the Jewish CEO of Starbucks, once said, "I didn't build a company to sell coffee. I built a system where others sell coffee to millions." That mindset took him from a poor kid to a billionaire. In contrast, many people get stuck in well-paying but exhausting jobs. The income is stable, but there's no room to grow. Jews often choose differently. They build careers that scale, train others to replace them, automate their work, and turn knowledge into assets. If you're working 8 to 10 hours a day and feeling trapped, ask yourself, can this job evolve into a business? Can I build a system where others work for me? Can I turn my knowledge into products, courses, or books that earn passively? Working smart isn't being lazy. It means investing energy in things that compound over time, not just chasing today's urgent tasks. In the end, Jewish people understand this truth. Every hour worked should build toward future freedom, not just pay today's bills. They don't wait to get rich before getting smart. They get smart with their work choices from the very beginning. Rule number 3, your network is your net worth. In today's world, many people believe that being good at your job is enough to succeed, but reality says otherwise. You can be the most talented person in the room, but if no one knows you exist, you'll be left behind. Jewish communities place networking at the core of building long-term generational wealth. In Jewish culture, a network isn't just about socializing. It's a foundation for support, career growth, business expansion, and family wealth preservation. Jewish children are taught early on, the wealthy never walk alone. They grow with their community. Take Michael Bloomberg, a Jewish billionaire and former mayor of New York City. Before founding Bloomberg LP, a global financial empire, he was laid off from Salomon Brothers. But thanks to his strong network in the Jewish and financial communities, he secured funding, strategic partners, and his very first clients. He once said, "A network is not something you build when you need it. It's something you build long before, with authenticity." So how do Jewish people build such robust networks? 1. They offer help before asking for it. Jews are known to ask first, "How can I help you?" before ever requesting anything. This spirit of giving fosters deep trust and often leads to unexpected opportunities later. 2. They connect with intention, not just for appearances. Jewish networking isn't about collecting business cards or adding random LinkedIn contacts. It's about meaningful relationships, finding people with shared values and long-term alignment. When someone in the community starts a company, others don't just say congrats. They become customers, advisors, investors, or referral partners. Take Larry Ellison, founder of Oracle and of Jewish descent. When Oracle was a small startup, its network helped it land key government contracts and institutional clients. He didn't do it alone. He built a human ecosystem around him. 3. They treat relationships as long-term assets. Jews don't see networking as a one-off task. They stay in touch, share valuable insights, and celebrate others' milestones. A 5-year relationship nurtured with consistency can unlock a $1 million opportunity in year 6. I used to believe hard work was enough. But after learning stories like these, I realized being great alone is limited. Being great with others is powerful. Once I began reaching out, joining industry groups, connecting with like-minded people, and helping first, opportunities came faster, more often, and exactly when I needed them most. How can you start building your network today? Choose 5 people you admire in your field. Send a genuine message or email sharing what you've learned from them without asking for anything. Join an online or offline community related to your work, as long as a real connection is involved. Help others, introduce people, share resources, or listen. And always remember, when you help others succeed, you're planting seeds for your success. While many people spend hours perfecting their resumes and cold applying to jobs, Jews understand that 85% of jobs are filled through connections, not applications. And in business, a warm introduction is 25 times more effective than a cold pitch. In short, talent gets you in the game. Your network takes you further. A common saying in Jewish circles, they've used this principle to build tight-knit financial and social ecosystems, lifting one another. And this applies to anyone. As long as you understand, wealth isn't built alone. Rule number 4, keep money circulating within the community, the economic power of trust. Every time you spend money, you're not just buying a product. You're transferring power to where your trust lies. In Jewish communities around the world, this isn't a vague philosophy. It's a daily practice, repeated again and again, that creates lasting financial sustainability for the entire group. While most Americans, and many Vietnamese as well, earn a paycheck and funnel their money into big-box stores, international e-commerce platforms, or faceless global services, Jewish people make a conscious choice: keep money flowing within the community for as long as possible, and that's a core reason why wealth and opportunities stay within rather than leaking out, getting reinvested into the next generation instead. 1. Money within the community. $1, 7 rounds. According to some U.S. financial reports, a single dollar in a Jewish community can circulate 5 to 7 times before it exits. That means one purchase can trigger a ripple effect, benefiting the local bakery, bookstore, startups, synagogues, schools, and scholarship funds, all within the same ecosystem. Imagine this: a Jewish customer buys bread from a bakery run by another Jewish family. The bakery uses that income to pay an employee from the same community. That employee shops at a local clothing store owned by another community member, and the cycle continues, creating sustainable internal growth like a thriving, self-reinforcing ecosystem. 2. Why is this principle so effective? Jewish people understand that every dollar spent is like casting a vote, not just for a product, but for the values and people behind it. By prioritizing spending within their community, they create jobs for people they know and trust, retain profits to reinvest in education, charity, and community startups, reduce financial dependence on outside forces, and above all, build a network of trusted business, quality, and ethical standards. 3. Real-world example. From family shop to financial empire. Take Stuart Ra, a Jewish billionaire and founder of Kinray, a massive U.S. pharmaceutical distributor. In his early days, Ra worked at his family's small pharmacy. He often shared that his most loyal customers were people from his community: doctors, pharmacists, and everyday shoppers. They didn't just buy because of price or product quality. They trusted him. They knew that supporting Ra meant investing in a stronger future for their shared community. 4. A personal reflection. What if Vietnamese people embraced this? As a content creator in the financial space, I've often asked myself, what if we, as Vietnamese, could build a similar circular economy? What if, every time we spent money, we asked, can I buy this from someone I know? Someone who shares my culture or background? Someone within my community? That simple mindset shift could redirect the money back to us, instead of letting it disappear forever. We already have thousands of small businesses and talented individuals, often overlooked just because they're too familiar or not famous yet. But let's not forget, every financial empire began with one small act of trust. 5. How to start practicing this principle today. You don't have to be Jewish to apply this. Try this simple approach. List 5 products or services you regularly buy each month. Find ways to get them from local vendors, trusted contacts, or community-owned businesses. If a friend starts a business, try their product, give honest feedback, and refer others. Create a mini support circle. Friends or family who commit to buying from one another. And most importantly, treat every spending decision as a way to build your community. Rule number 5, investing is a duty, not an option. The wealthy don't wait to have extra. For most people, Investing is a maybe someday decision, something you only do if there's money left over. However, in Jewish financial thinking, investing is not optional. It's a non-negotiable responsibility, as essential as eating, breathing, or paying rent. Because they understand one thing clearly: savers chase inflation. Investors get ahead of the future. The harsh truth: saving alone isn't enough anymore. Imagine setting aside $200 monthly into a savings account, earning 4% interest annually. Meanwhile, inflation in Vietnam averages between 3% and 4%, sometimes hitting as high as 6%. On paper, your balance grows, but in reality, your money is silently losing value every single year. That's why Jewish families don't see saving as the destination. It's merely a launchpad for investing. Every dollar they save must go to work, earning returns and working harder than its owner. 2. Talmud wisdom: split your wealth into thirds. One of the oldest Jewish principles comes from the Talmud. Divide your assets into 3 parts: one for land, one for business, and one to keep on hand. Modern interpretation: 1/3 in long-term protection, like real estate, to hedge against inflation. 1/3 in growth assets, like stocks, index funds, tech, to multiply value. 1/3 in liquid assets, like cash, gold, or flexible accounts, to seize opportunities or survive crises. This concept isn't outdated. Top investors like Ray Dalio or Howard Marks apply nearly identical strategies, just under different names and tools. 3. Example: Jewish investing starts with small habits. Take George Soros, legendary Jewish investor. He's known for his bold moves, like shorting the British pound in 1992, but few know he started small, building his portfolio steadily with the classic Jewish mindset: be safe first. Take risks later. Soros once said, "Investing isn't something you do once you have money. It's a habit and discipline you build, and the money follows." My take: the most dangerous thought is, "I'll wait until I have extra." I've asked hundreds of people aged 25 to 45, "Do you invest?" Most reply, "Not yet. I don't have spare money." Here's the harsh truth: if you're waiting to have extra before you start investing, you'll never have extra. Because your expenses will always grow with your income. You'll always feel like you're behind. Jewish families teach their kids: invest first, spend later, not the other way around. 5. How to start. Even with a small income. You don't need to invest thousands per month to begin. Just follow these 3 powerful steps. Set aside 10 to 20% of your monthly income for investing before spending anything else. Choose tools that fit your level. If you're a beginner, ETFs or trusted mutual funds like VFM VN30 or DCVFM VN Diamond. Long-term, small real estate deals, corporate bonds, or even a micro business. Automate it. Set up recurring transfers via your bank or an investment app. So investing becomes automatic, not something you debate monthly. 6th final thought: investing is a commitment to your future. Jewish people understand. Wealth isn't built from high income, but from consistent, disciplined investing. They don't wait to become successful before they invest. They invest, and that's why they become successful. So if you've worked for years and still have no savings, change the question you ask yourself. Don't ask, "Do I have any money left this month?" Instead ask, "How much did I invest this month for my future?" That answer will determine whether you'll ever truly build wealth. Rule number 6: know the difference between good debt and bad debt. Leverage wisely. Don't let debt break you. In the modern financial world, debt is a double-edged sword. It can propel you toward wealth or trap you in a financial nightmare, depending on how you use it. With centuries of accumulated financial wisdom, the Jewish community avoids bad debt and embraces good debt as an innovative lever to build long-term wealth. 1. Americans fall into debt traps. Jews use debt to accelerate growth. The average American household holds over $6,000 in credit card debt, often at interest rates exceeding 20% annually. Meanwhile, many Jewish families either pay cash up front for cars or only take on debt, creating positive cash flow. So what's the key difference? Jewish financial culture teaches a clear distinction between bad debt, borrowing to fund lifestyle or consumption, things that don't increase in value. Examples: loans for luxury cars, travel, or the latest phone. Good debt, borrowing to build assets, generate income, or create long-term value. Examples: loans for rental property, business expansion, or education that boosts earning potential. 2. Real example: Shari Arison, Jewish billionaire. Shari Arison, heir to the Arison Group, used financial leverage to expand investments across real estate, banking, and renewable energy in Israel. Even while owning large portfolios, she maintained a healthy debt-to-equity ratio, always staying in control. For her, debt isn't a toy to buy unnecessary things, it's a tool to buy the future. My take: debt isn't evil, misusing it is. I've seen many young people take out loans to buy a new iPhone, a flashy motorbike, or look the part at work. The result? Constant stress, no savings, and a trap of earn, repay, borrow again. Meanwhile, I've also known friends who borrowed $4,000 to start an online store. A few years later, they reached financial independence, not because they were lucky, because they used debt as a launchpad, not a shackle. 4. How to tell good debt from bad debt. Ask yourself these 3 questions before borrowing. 1. Will this debt create income? If there's no cash flow to cover the debt, it's a liability, not an opportunity. 2. Will the asset increase in value over time? Real estate or business equipment may appreciate or generate returns. Cars and gadgets, usually not. 3. Is the interest rate lower than your expected return? You're leveraging smartly if you borrow at 8% annually and expect a 15% return. If not, it's bad debt. If your answer is no to all 3, walk away. Strategy: be the master of debt. Don't let it master you. Step 1. Run a personal debt audit. List all your loans, yes, even 0% installments. Classify them as good or bad. Be honest. Step 2. Prioritize paying off bad debt. Use the avalanche method, highest interest first, or snowball method, smallest balances first for momentum. Step 3. Avoid consumer debt. Aim to buy with real money, not future money. Step 4. Learn to use good debt. If you're experienced, use financial leverage to invest in real estate, scale a business, or upgrade your career skills. 6th final thought: will debt be your lever or your trap? In Jewish financial culture, debt isn't the enemy. It's a neutral tool. Your outcome depends on how and when you use it. Don't obsess over being 100% debt-free. Instead, focus on carrying only the debt that makes you richer, because in the end, wealthy people are not the ones who never borrow. They are the ones who use debt to buy time, opportunity, and freedom. Rule number 7. Think in 3-generation timeframes. Build wealth for your grandchildren, not just yourself. Most people think about money in short cycles, paychecks, fiscal years, maybe retirement at best. But for the Jewish community, financial thinking stretches beyond a single lifetime. They think of 3 generations: grandparents, parents, and children. This mindset has helped them preserve wealth through wars, economic crises, and massive social change. 1. Why most wealth disappears after 3 generations. A study from Boston College found that 70% of wealthy families lose their wealth by the 2nd generation and over 90% by the 3rd. The cause isn't the market, it's mindset. When wealth is created without financial education, it gets spent, mismanaged, or divided without purpose. Jewish families pass down a core principle: teach your children how to manage wealth before you hand it over. 2. Real example: the Bronfman family, from liquor to legacy. The Bronfmans, a Jewish-Canadian family, built a fortune through the Seagram liquor empire. But instead of letting future generations inherit, they built investment funds, education programs, charitable foundations, and structured succession plans. Charles Bronfman, a descendant, once said, "Wealth is not just for enjoyment. It's a tool for building community, culture, and legacy." 3. What is a three-generation mindset? First generation, wealth creators. They work hard, save diligently, build businesses, or invest for the long term. Second generation, wealth managers. They learn how to protect and grow the family's assets. They're financially educated and act actively as advisors, operators, or trustees. Third generation, legacy innovators. They don't just consume, they expand the legacy, adapt strategies to new eras, and educate the next generation. This mindset makes every financial decision personal and a responsibility to the family's future. 4. My perspective. What you think today shapes your grandchild's tomorrow. I've seen friends burn through family wealth in a few years, simply because no one taught them how to manage it. And I've seen middle-class families grow into dynasties over 2 to 3 generations, thanks to discipline, patience, and vision. True wealth isn't just about a big paycheck or a lucky business. It's about the courage to think long and the will to build slowly. 5. How to apply the three-generation approach. Starting today. Here are a few practical ways to begin. Create a family mission statement. Sit with your loved ones and ask, what is our wealth for? What do we want to leave behind? Examples are funding education, giving back to the community, and investing in sustainable industries. Open investment accounts for your kids. Start early. College funds, long-term ETFs, or dual-purpose savings accounts. Teach Money Weekly share real-life financial lessons with your kids. Let them help with budgeting, and teach them how to divide money into jars, just like many Jewish families do. Build a family financial profile. Include list of assets, debts, investments, and inheritance plans. This will help the next generation take over with clarity. 6th final thought. Are you living just for yourself or your family's future? Jewish families aren't wealthy because they're smarter. They're wealthy because they stay committed to long-term thinking, and they don't ask, what do I get? They ask, what will my grandchildren inherit? Once you start thinking like a legacy builder, everything changes. You'll spend less and invest smarter. You'll teach your children differently. You'll choose stability over flash. And through these small choices today, you'll plant the seeds of a financial legacy that survives and thrives across generations. Choose. Waste your life or build a legacy. Let's be honest with ourselves. If you stopped working today, no more income or effort, how long would your family be okay? A year, 3 months, or just a few days? The painful truth is, most people today live paycheck to paycheck, trapped in short-term thinking and impulsive spending. Meanwhile, the Jewish community, never the largest in number, yet consistently among the most enduringly wealthy families, lives with a radically different mindset. They don't waste their lives, they build for the generations to come. Jewish people don't chase money, they pursue sustainability. We've just explored 7 timeless principles that Jewish families have practiced for generations. Teach kids about money early, financial education before inheritance. Work smart, not just hard, but on high-leverage, meaningful pursuits. Build networks. Wealth isn't built solo, but through community. Spend within the community to circulate wealth and uplift everyone. Invest as a duty. Don't wait for leftovers. Invest first, spend second. No good versus bad debt. Debt can build or break you. Use it wisely. Think in 3-generation cycles. Every decision is a brick in your family's financial future. These aren't flashy tricks. They don't require genius or millions in capital, but they do require willpower and discipline. The bigger question: what will you leave behind? A life lived like a drifting leaf, spending today, stressing tomorrow, working to survive? Will your children inherit anything but struggle? Or will they inherit a solid foundation, a wise financial mindset, and a living legacy of values and resources they can build upon? You don't have to be a millionaire to start thinking long-term. You have to shift from spending for the moment to investing for the future. My take. I choose not to waste writing and reflecting on these principles. I realized Jewish people aren't wealthier because they're smarter. They're wealthier because they treat money and the future seriously. They don't teach their kids to spend. They teach them to think about money. They don't see money as the end goal. They see it as a tool for freedom, values, and community. And I believe if more of us, especially young families in Vietnam, practice even a portion of these ideas, our children won't have to start from zero again. Small actions, big shifts. You don't have to do it all at once. Just start with one principle, one small step. Open an automatic investment account. Teach your child the 5 money jars method. Write down your long-term financial goals. Cancel a pointless subscription. Track every expense for 30 days. Do that, and you'll see a turning point. Not because the money magically appears, but because you're becoming someone who takes financial responsibility seriously. Final words. Wealth is a choice. Sustainability takes courage. You can spend your entire life proving you have money, or you can live a calm, grounded life and create a future that looks nothing like your past. Wealth isn't the goal, it's the vehicle. A vehicle to help your kids go further in school, give your parents peace of mind, let you live with deeper meaning, and leave behind something real, something more than just an empty wallet. So now the choice is yours. Waste your life or build a legacy. If this video brought you value, please like and subscribe to our channel for more powerful insights on personal finance, investing, and legacy building. The future belongs to those who start today.